Hey there, everyone. CPO here, and Heli Hangout number 39 is now active and in effect on Friday the 13th, 2015. So one of the luckiest days there are. So hopefully we'll be able to make it through without any ladders or black cats or full moons or any of those other things that people are afraid of happening tonight. So. We have Daniel Lee and Rifted, looks like, and I'm sure more to come in as we get started. Oh, there's Abe Chapman Law as I speak. If you're checking this out, obviously we did not have a hangout 2 weeks ago on the normal schedule. I skipped one, and I thank you for your grace in that. It's been really crazy busy around here for me, so and just a lot going on. So skip that one, but I'm back here on the 13th, which is kind of a weird one because it is a Valentine's weekend, so I know a lot of people probably have honey dates. I know we've lost at least one, and that's a good thing. So I'd much rather you hang out with your significant other than us, given the choices. So I thought about trying to get it back on a different schedule, but it didn't make sense. So anyway, we're back, and so that gives us almost a month worth of things to talk about. So I'm sure there will be plenty of good discussion. Lots of interesting new products have been released in the last month too, so I'm sure we'll hit some of that as well. So looks like Clay joined us. Hey, Clay. So anyway, we'll just start going through the what you've been up to lately. I will tell you, for me, I have not. Let me think here. I have not flown anything. Not even a micro. I haven't done anything. So that makes it tough. I haven't flown anything. I haven't built anything. The last month has pretty much just been a wash. So I do have a couple of planes that are in maiden condition. The Phoenix, or no wait, the Apollo 50 and the what else do I have? I've got the Zero that I built. I got some videos that I'm behind on editing, so I've been bad. I haven't done video editing. I haven't done anything. But the weather's been nasty, so it's been really hard to even think about going outside. It's tax season. It's my wife has convinced me to go back to school, so I'm taking college courses. I've been activating in the Civil Air Patrol, so I've been busy doing that. I've had a lot of work stuff going on, so it's just been chaotic. But so hopefully some of you have had more interesting things to talk about than me. So with that, I will move. Oh yeah, and I've got a caterpillar on my upper lip. If you're not able to watch this, and maybe you're listening to the podcast, we call that a mustache here in the United States. So I was feeling nostalgic, so I didn't shave my upper lip last week, and we'll see how long I can take it. But it reminds me of about, I don't know, 15 years ago when I actually used to wear one regularly. So anyway.
What are you doing with that poor cat, Adrian?
Adrian's trying to grow his own mustache.
Yeah, she's not letting me. I'm trying to get the mustache thing going. It's not working. She's not playing ball at all. Come here.
I think the cat is on my side here.
She's beautiful, aren't you? She was sat on top of the back of the chair a minute ago. Come here. There you go.
All right, Aid. Well, since you've got your feline friend and you're in focus now, why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
Not an awful lot of flying. Been doing a bit of slope soaring, which is quite good fun. But it's been mostly kind of work and videos and more work, decorating, that sort of thing. And just generally keeping the house in one piece. I'm trying to anyway. And the weather's been crap here as well. It's been really cold. I mean, I'm not cold by American standards, but it's been less than 5 degrees C for most of the last month and a half, which is about 35, less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit ish, like that. So yeah, it's not been terribly good flying weather. And that's kind of been it really. It's been quite a quiet couple of months for me.
Yeah, I hear you on the weather. It was, I think we started at 13 degrees Fahrenheit today, and it got up to about 20. So it's been really cold.
Yeah, that's proper cold. What's that in real money? Any idea what that is in real money? It's 13 Fahrenheit, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know what that is in the rest of the world.
I'm asking Google. -10. Stop that. That's cold. That's proper cold. Yeah, that's proper cold. So you've been having lots of snow and ice and stuff.
Yeah, the East Coast has been pounded. We've been pretty lucky here in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. A lot of it's gone north of us, but it's been icy and just cold mostly. So
yeah, you guys are getting
it doesn't make me want to get out to the field. What's that?
So you guys are getting hit with another one right about now, aren't you?
I think there's one rolling through. Actually, I think tomorrow's supposed to be nice, and they're concerned about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because you're sort of south of Chicago, aren't you? Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit south.
Yeah. So yeah, you sort of north. You're not quite north. You're not really North America. You're not north of North America, but you're not southern either. In the middle.
Yeah, I mean we're considered mid-Atlantic where I'm at, so about middle elevation between the south and the north.
Yeah, I'm scared down here in the south because we haven't had anything yet. I mean, you've had a couple chilly days, but there's been no ice. There's been hardly any freezing days, which is kind of scary. Which, come to think of it, the ice storm that we had that wreaked all the havoc down here last winter actually hit us, I think, in the end of February. So I guess it's right about now we need to be watching.
Did that whole kind of Baltic sort of, not Baltic, the Arctic funnely thing that hit you all last year, did that get that far south?
Polar vortex.
That's the one. that thing.
They got a new name for everything. Nobody had ever heard of polar vortex when I was a kid. It was just called damn cold.
Yep. That's it, man. It's just cold. So what have you been up to, Clay? Did you hear me?
No, you broke up. Say it again.
Oh, what have you been up to?
Me, a lot. I've missed the last several hangouts actually. It's been a lot of work, but been doing a good bit of flying. Got a new model. Had a lot of fun with it, trying to get it broke in. Burnt a hole in the top of the piston on the first go round, so that didn't go too well.
Oh.
But she's fun.
What did you get?
Synergy N5C.
Oh, okay.
She's right here on the bench. I've been tinkering with her for the last week or so. So.
Is that your first Nitro heli?
Yeah.
Can't beat
so it's been an experience, but there's a lot of guys around here that they fly them religiously. That's their forte. So they've been giving me pointers. But went out by myself on the break-in, like I said, and wasn't paying attention to the telemetry on the sensor and temp sensor, and I guess it got hot and it popped the hole in the top of the piston. So, but OS replaced it, so she's been put back in, and I just got it back in yesterday. So
That's nice of them over here. That wouldn't happen over here. Ripmax or something who's a distributor over here now would just go, it's your fault. You bugging it. you broke it, you fix it. But,
yeah, well, I mean, it was literally 2 minutes in the air. 2 minutes, and it
doesn't take long. Yeah. See, when I was a lad, when we ran nitros over here, when I ran nitros over here, we didn't have none of this telemetry rubbish. It all just on the smoke and the noise and the feel and how much power it was putting out. Just, I still tune like that now. A friend of mine's got a Streamlock with a Disarm Streamlock 90, 700, whatever you want to call it, Nitro, and that gets tuned just by ear and the old way, because I don't actually trust the temperature sensor, because I have nothing to relate to it. See what I mean?
Well, it's an entirely new ball game for me, and I kind of like it. But like I said, it's new to me, so it's going to take a while to get used to.
If in doubt, go richer. If you're not sure, go richer, and then if you lose some power, then you know you've gone the wrong way. Whereas if you go leaner and you lose some power, then you're cooking motors. So listen for the cackle as well. They sound very tinny and rough when they go a bit lean. So yeah, it's all on engine sound and how much power it's putting out. And go, as I say, go rich first. Find that point where it's actually losing power, and then on sort of full stick climb out. And then if you just come back in 3 clicks, do it again, see how it's climbing out, see what it sounds like, and then just keep going until as you come leaner, the sort of the amount of difference it makes gets less. So what you'll find is you'll go 3 clicks leaner, and it'll get a bit more power. And you go 3 clicks leaner again, and you'll get a little bit more power. And then you go 3 again, and then like you might get a little bit more power or no more power. And that's when you know you're on the sort of the elbow, and that's exactly where you want to be. You want to be on that point where it sort of flattens out. So you've got the power going up, and then it flattens out, and then it's too lean over here. That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's sort of you want to be right on that, or just off this, just on the downward slope of that corner, so it doesn't get any more power.
Okay.
If you keep it on that side.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Adrian.
If you keep it on in that area or richer of that area, you won't ever break a motor. There's no harm with being 3 clicks too rich, but there's a lot of harm to be done in 3 clicks too lean. Sorry, Rifty, you were saying?
Yeah, a quick tip also will help the smoke coming out of the engine will tell you how rich or lean or you're running the engine. So if you're smoking a lot, your engine will help. Will let you know. Also, it's quite of a visual spot thingy you can do also, or try.
I have a problem with that because if you know your engine and you know your fuel, then you're fine because you know how much smoke you normally put out with your fuel in your engine with your exhaust pipe. But you put a different brand of fuel in, and it will smoke more or less. And some of them can be really very smoky, even when they're lean. So I tend to use the smoke as a final kind of check, and also finger on the back plate as well. Get your finger right up on the back of the engine, right on the back plate, behind the conrod, behind the crank, and test there. If on a 50 size, you should be able to hold your finger on there for like 5 to 6 seconds before it sort of becomes uncomfortable, and 9 seconds it will be painful. 90 size, you like hold it there all day. It's that's kind of a nice little final kind of. You use all of the above, and then do a final check with the temperature.
What's the average run temperature, not idle temperature, but after it's been running at got it governed speed, whatever you got it set at for that right there, around 2100.
Where are you
temperature
measuring?
run.
Where are you measuring?
Right on the, I got the sensor wrapped around the head, the cylinder head, in between the fins.
I don't know what that temperature should be. It's just not something that I've ever measured. As I say, I grew up, with nitros when you tuned it by ear and by finger temperature on the backplate, not by head temp. So I don't know.
Well, honestly, that's what a lot of the guys around here say too.
Yeah.
I wanted the telemetry, and I happened to cross a TM1000 unit, so I put it on there. But most of the guys here don't use them. They use the same thing you do. Put your finger on it.
Well, I mean, what you could do is you could get them to tune it, get somebody to tune it for you, get it running really nicely, and then look at the temperature that you're getting, and then use that as a reference point for later.
Right.
Or tune it as I've said, and use that as a reference point for later, and then try going 3 clicks leaner and 3 clicks richer, and just see what it does to the temperature. See how much of a marked difference is, because that's you don't know what the temperature is supposed to be, and you don't know how much difference it makes by the adjustment. So with some experimentation and some experience, you should be able to find out what the ideal temperature should be. And can you set alarms on your telemetry? So like if the temperature goes over X amount.
Okay.
Can you do that on the telemetry? Can you set an alarm value on the temperature?
X9, and it's got a full telemetry capability on it, so I just got to program that.
Yeah, so it'd be a matter of kind of experimenting, seeing what happens, see what it does, and then using that knowledge to judge what the temperature should be, and then set an alarm so that if it goes over that, maybe a couple of degrees over that temperature, then you can sort of set, you know that you're doing something wrong then, or as a warning that something needs looking at.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know exactly what happened with that first fish. I mean, I know I got hot, but I don't know why. It was in the air for literally two minutes.
You'll be surprised how quickly you running. If you've done a couple of power climb outs and it is a lot too lean, the combustion temperature just go through the roof and you'll just melt the piston in no time. Literally, I mean, 2 minutes in the hover too lean is enough to kill stuff.
That's an OS 55 riff.
How are those little needle valves I sent you, Clay?
Oh, yeah, actually, you know what? What do you thank you for that? I couldn't find them, and I know it's nothing but blame. I couldn't find them anywhere here in the States. But I love those little things, man.
Have they got a red one now? Sweet.
Yeah.
Red and blue.
It's a 55. I actually did a couple mods on it. I took it had thumb screws for the front and the back mounts. So I did a little mod, and I took the N7 canopy mounts, and it's got a clip in the front, and then I did the keychains on the back. So I did a mod there and did it, but I don't know. I like it.
Nice. Hey, I just want to say for the record here, while we're still talking about all this, running rich and all that, that's completely the opposite of my experience in this hobby. So I just want to get this out here because ever since I've been in the hobby, I've been running poor. So it's the opposite of rich. I want to make sure that we understand. Certainly, that's what you were talking about, right? Because you keep saying go richer, and I keep going poorer.
No, yeah, you're definitely doing it wrong. You need.
Okay.
Well, are we talking about the hobby being rich, or are we talking about you being rich? So that's the thing. Because if the hobby's rich, then that's fine. If you're poor, then that's bad.
It's an inverse relationship because as the hobby gets richer, I get poorer. And there is a plateau, just like you explained.
Generally sort of somewhere around the divorce point, yeah?
Yeah, and the temperature goes up the poorer I get. So anyway, sorry. I digress.
Well,
Uh,
that's about all I've
right,
had going on.
all right, cool. Let's see here. Who's next? Daniel. You awake? Did your alarm go off?
Yeah, I'm awake.
What have you been up to, bud?
Oh, yeah, the weather is nice. As Adrian said. So at the moment I'm spending lots of time on simulator. I just checked last time because in my Mac I'm using the Windows just for simulator. I spent more than 60 hours flying. It's a little bit boring, but I don't want to break my force when finally I do the maiden. So that's it. Everything is very quiet. I bring my Node 180QX to the office and I'm flying inside in the office, but nothing else. But it's awesome.
Nice. So have you been doing anything specific in the sim or just random flying? Are you working on a specific program or anything?
Yeah, because I'm Hungarian and one of our pro pilot made a small video step by step how to be a 3D pilot. So I'm following his instructions first to a small loops, inverted flights, inverted pyro flips. So it's progress. Now I spend more time with auto rotation.
Nice. And your 450 is still in one piece?
Yes, because after when I finally finished the setup in the UK, start training. And every weekend it's raining, and I have Celica. And as I told Lee, if I going in after the rain, I just stuck in the airfield and I cannot come back. So sadly, the helicopter is set, everything is set, so I just need to go out and fly, but the weather is crap.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's usual.
I don't think we can moan too much about the English weather compared to what CPO is dealing with.
But it's all relative.
No, it's not relative. There's nothing relative about temperature. It's absolute.
I getting crazy when we have snowflakes here, and I just grab my quad, go out, and take a 5-minute flight. I'm freezing, and sadly I didn't turn on the camera, so I just come back, check it. Oh, it's a mistake. So and after I go back again and flying again. And when I come back, I just realized my full transmitter is covered with snow. But that was nice flight. I think I'll send you the video or share it in Google Plus.
Yeah, it's a good sign it's time to go in when your transmitter's covered with snow.
Yeah.
So. And let's see, speaking of people who don't have that problem right now, Lee, jerk.
This is sorry, I have to interrupt here. On every single day, I don't know, have you watched any of the Rotor shows? Like, any time Lee turns up, it's like, oh, look, there's the weather again. we just rip him to pieces over his bloody flying weather he gets over there. And now you're doing it too!
Terrible weather here.
I'm sure well deserved.
Definitely.
Yeah, stop coming on the show with a suntan, and you won't have this problem.
Yeah, he's always posting the videos with his shorts on. And...
No, not today. Not today. We had 3 jackets on.
What temperature was it?
Today?
You had 3 jackets on in what temperature?
10 degrees. Yeah, but it was blowing. It was. We were up on the ridge doing some glider soaring today.
Oh,
so,
good shots.
But it's free jacket for the 4 city.
For the what?
For the war city, you have free jackets on the streets.
Oh.
Well, yeah, well, it's ages since I've been on here. It must be, I don't know, it was Christmas or something. I can't remember. Had I crashed the Goblin the last time I was on here?
Yes, you had just crashed the Goblin, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's still crashed. It's it's been retired to the cupboard for a while. But
You should run it richer.
yeah, it definitely needs to be run richer. That's for sure. But
Needs more smoke.
I'm hoping that my warp is going to be flyable soon, because I had the last bit that I needed to get that flyable again arrived today, which is these. Oh, can't know. Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
the 215 MG, yeah.
Yeah. So I've just found a shop in Madrid, which I'm very happy with now. They sell a lot of good stuff that I need, and I ordered them 2 days ago. They arrived this morning. So, and they're only maybe like a couple, €3 more expensive than buying them from China. So I'll be buying my stuff from there from now on. It's Mercado RC, I think it's called. So, yeah, that's the last thing I needed for the warp. I got some Zeal blades for it. So, I'll start rebuilding that. And
Those Zeal blades, are they really good?
I haven't tried them yet.
I'm running Zeal on my 700, and I'm not a good person to judge off of, but I don't have any problems with them.
Well, I have to give them.
I've heard mixed reviews though. Yeah, I think there was a huge push right after IRCHA, right at IRCHA, where they were really pushing hard for marketing, and got a lot of people to try them out, and got a lot of them in the hands of pilots. And it's kind of fizzled since then. I haven't heard much after the first of the year, but I think the people that are flying them seem to really like them. So
cool.
And they're at a good price point too, which helps.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to trying them, getting the warp back in the air, because it's been a long time since I've flown a helicopter.
I was going to say, with the Goblin and the warp, you've been limited to 4-rotor craft, right?
Yeah, and wings, gliders and stuff.
And wings, oh yeah.
But yeah, mostly the quads. I've built 5 of these now. All the local guys here wanted one, so I bought them all and built them for them. And so we'll have a bit of FPV racing this summer, hopefully. So that one's just been finished for another guy. And
you said these are the RCX H250s from my RC Mart.
Yeah.
What do you estimate your all-up cost, like fully ready to run without FPV gear?
Without, well, if you can buy it, that one I sent you the link for, that's everything except receiver and batteries, and that's $99.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that came with ESCs and motors.
Yep, comes with really good motors. The RCX, the version 2's really good. If you click on that link, the standard board it comes with is a KK2, which is, as a beginner, it's a nice, easy one to set up, and you don't need a computer either. It took me like 5 minutes to get it flying perfectly. But you can, there's a drop-down menu, and you can change the board for OpenPilot CC3D or Flip 32, which is the same as the Naze 32. So you can choose whichever controller you want. So yeah, so they fly really well. There's just one drawback, was the screws that attach the top plate to the standoffs. The screws are a little bit too short. They're about 6 millimeters, and they don't quite grip into the standoffs very well. So I've swapped those over for sort of 10 mil or 12 mil ones, just to give it a bit more bite into the standoffs. so they don't strip out. But I've stripped mine down and I'm rebuilding it now. I'm putting some custom modifications on. I don't know if you can see the. You see the arm has those red plates.
Yep.
That's actually nylon. It's my wife's old chopping board. Don't tell her. I cut out some plates to make some vibration mounts between the arms to try and stop any vibration going through to the board, to the frame. And also, it's obviously made the spacing wider, so I can get the ESCs in between as well. So I'm going to see how that goes.
Oh, cool.
And I got a new FPV camera, which I just want to thank Get FPV for that, because I bought a camera from them a year ago, and by the time I actually put it on my model, the warranty was out of date, and it didn't. So there's something wrong with it. It did sort of work, but it kept going overexposed, and I didn't know if it was me or something else. Anyway, I left it in a box, and after about a year, I thought, well, I'll call them up and see what they'll do about it. And they told me to send it back, and they sent me a brand new one, latest model, no questions asked. So I was
Nice.
very happy to see that.
And you said that was getfpv.com?
Yeah. So that's where I got my QAV 500 from, and all the electronic stuff from them. So yeah, they sent it to me, no questions asked, and it's a different camera to what I had, but it seems to be a better one. So I can't complain with that.
Awesome.
That's really nice.
Yeah, anybody that takes care of their customers that way is worth mentioning. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
That's it, really.
Out of Apple.
Man,
What's
see,
that,
there
Abe?
you go again, Ed.
You don't get that sort of service out of Apple. Mate of mine just had his 13-month-old iPhone die on him. Took it to the Apple store, and they said, "Yep, we'll swap it for 200 quid." 13 months
Now
old.
the sad thing is, you used to get that kind of service from Apple. I've had a lot of. I bought an iPad 2. So whenever that came out, this was 2010, 2011, whenever iPad 2 came out, I had the most expensive model you could get, which I think at the time was a 64 gig model. I had it for 2 weeks, and I dropped it face down on the garage floor, and it shattered the screen. Like, it slipped out of my hand and shattered. And I took it into the Apple store in the mall and said, I handed it to them like, I broke it. And they replaced it free of charge, even though it was my fault.
Did you? If you spend the extra 80 quid on the Apple Care, then they do give you that sort of, oops, you dropped it, I think once or twice, and 2-year warranty. But it's an extra 80 quid.
Yeah, I've never paid for Apple Care. Didn't it used to be that Apple Care was included?
But I've never had a problem with them. They've always done right by us, and I've been on Apple for years. Keen has been doing it now for 2 years, maybe 3. They've been great with us. So.
But it has changed, though, and it's not the same Apple it used to be a few years ago. You have to kind of beg more to get something out of them. Where it used to be, they would go out of their way to make you happy. So I do notice a difference.
2-year warranty on the Android, on the Nexus stuff, and you phone them up. If you go, the screen went on this, didn't break, it just went a bit funny. So I phoned them up, and within 24 hours, I had a replacement on my doorstep. I didn't even have to leave the house, and it was no 800 number as well, so it was a free phone call. It took about 5 minutes, and the next day I had a brand new phone sat on my doorstep, packaged the old one up in the box that it came in, and sent it off. Job done.
Nice.
Well, I've never had to replace anything Apple because it always keeps on working.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've still got a Generation 1 iPhone that works perfectly, and none of my Macs have ever broken.
You've been lucky then.
Nice. And your Android phone is a clone, right? So
Yeah, this one. This thing. Yeah, but it works. And the only reason I have this instead of a... Right?
It's just a program, right? That's the only reason you use it, right?
Yeah, the only reason I got it is because I need it for programming icons. Otherwise, I'd still be on iPhone. And one thing I forgot to mention, which hasn't happened since I was on here last, is we set up a new forum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Tell us about it.
Don't know if you saw that, did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, RC Hangout. It's just a very chilled out little group of guys got together and we set up this little forum just to chat about stuff. And it'd be good if you guys came and said hello. So think about pretty much everybody on the forum. Everybody on the forum is building 250 quads at the moment. So.
Yeah, that's my next one. But the forum is great, man. You guys should definitely check it out.
I am going to sign up for it.
Right now. Do it now.
Yeah.
I just to be clear,
it's rc-hangout.com.
Yeah.
Because there is an RC Hangout without the dash, which gets you someplace else, right?
Yeah, no, that's not us.
Yeah.
That was
something about investing in property.
That name was voted by the members. We had a load of choices, and that came out on top.
There's no Google. I can't sign in with my Google. I have to fill in loads of stuff. I have to think of a username and shit.
Not everybody. Not everybody's a Google boy.
They could log in with Facebook as well if they felt like it.
Cool. Well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. We'll make sure that I'll have to get over there. I haven't been on the forums. I haven't been on Facebook very much. But I'm about ready to get re-engaged. I've had enough of a break, so I'll get on there and check it out. All right, let's see. Casper, are you there? I see you. I see you're on. I just don't see you have video. I can't tell if you're here or not. All right, we'll move on. Rifted, what have you been up to?
Well, as mentioned before, I haven't flown anything with two rotors. I've been flying right now 4 rotors and 3 rotors with big props.
Nice.
Well, yeah, and well, I just mounted my FPV gear. I brought it out of the box. Did mount the NACE 32, which I'm liking it a lot. It's been very surprising flying control, and I tested out last weekend, and it went pretty darn well. It works very nice. It's very user friendly. Apparently, using base light, not clean flight. Later on, I'll probably going to test with the clean flight, and also built for a friend one of this little fellas.
Oh, a little guy, huh?
Yeah, a little trifecta from Hobby King. As soon as he saw it on the page, he bought it, and well, he started with the APM, the mini APM from Hobby King. I was not able to set it up properly, so I'm gonna later on try it out. So I mounted a NACE 32, but the Acro version, which does not have a compass and magnetometer. And I'm gonna show him this weekend, tomorrow actually, how it does work, because I was not able to make it work properly with the APM. So I'm gonna fiddle around a little bit more with the APM. I know it's a really good card work, and there's not a lot of information right now on how to set it up with the trifecta. So, well, tomorrow I'm going to test it out with the NACE 32, and I'm sure it's going to fly way better.
What do you think of that
What
frame?
else? Yeah.
What do you think of the frame?
It's, well, for $30, it's worth it. It's really, really compact. It's nice. It's not that bad quality. It works. There's a little waggling on the tail, which you fix it with a little plastic thing that they gave you, which goes right in one nice spot in the middle. It works. I would definitely recommend it. Actually, funny thing. Any of you? I know that CPO is kind of not gonna buy from them for several months. But anybody have entered the raffles, the lottery they made recently?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I won a Quantum Nova ready to fly. I'll tell you how that works when it arrives. And one of
Nice.
these frames. Yeah, and one of these frames. So let's see when they both arrive. I'll let you know. The Nova, I'm interested if it's worth $300 or if it doesn't worth $300. But let's see. It's free. It only cost me $10. And what else I've been doing? Tried to set up also my big quads, the 6L and the 4L with 15-inch props, both of them. I'm trying to set them properly. The 6L, I was lucky enough to make it fly very, very nice. But the 4L, I haven't been able to make it work as I would like to. It's flying way better than a month ago that I tried it out. But yeah, I'm getting there. But this weekend is going to be very short. Just going to be there on the flying field for about an hour and a half, and then I'm going to head back home. I have business to attend on the weekend. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing lately, and a lot of building, and also I want to do with my tricopter, the David version, a little bit more cleaner with all the cables running into the booms and all that. But probably I'm going to leave that for the next week, not this weekend. So yeah, that's everything I've been doing so far.
Cool. Sounds like quite a bit, and a lot to come, huh?
Yeah, but I do recommend anybody there, the NACE 32, try it out. Both the Acro or the full 9 yards. It had the barrow and the magnetometer. I haven't tested both, but out of the box, it works very, very nice.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm running the NACE, the Acro NACE on my 250, and I really like it. Works just fine, so I have no reason to change.
Yeah. And if
Are you running clean flight or base flight?
Base flight. Right now, I'm
Yep, I
running
ran base flight too.
Yeah, probably later. I'm gonna try the clean flight. I'm kind of intrigued which one would work better for me, because there's a lot of posts that a lot of people like better base flight. A lot of people like more clean flight. So you never know. You have to try it out if you have the time, and well, whatever works, right?
I just let
What's
it
the
fly straight
what's the
onto
difference? The fundamental difference between the two?
I think there's a lot more things you can do on clean flight. I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at it too much, but I know there's things like the LED stuff you can do with it. Looks pretty cool. You can you can have the throttle set up, but when you raise the throttle, the lights change. So things like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's getting there, and what I'm interested in offering later on is if it has two features which was not conceived on the first try, was the return to home and the GPS hold. But Clean Flight, I know that they're developing. They were a little bit tied up with the math, but I think they're getting there. And once they get there, I'll definitely going to try it out. And I'm looking also to build another tricopter. This time with the Fortis airframes, I want to really give it a shot. I bought a couple of things from him, and he was very responsive and sent it to my home in just a day and a half. It was already shipped out. So I want to try that frame and probably try the same setup, because I flew for about 8 minutes with a 3300, and I put in both batteries today into the charger, and I only put in 1,000 milliamp into the battery. So it worked. It's kind of a very responsive. It had a lot of punch. It had a lot of power, and didn't consume a lot of battery. 12-inch props. 5.8.
Wow. Awesome.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Next one.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's see what Casper's up to now that he's back.
Hey there. Well, the weather's been kind of hit and miss. We've got a few flights in on the 500. In fact, got a couple packs in today. It was only 43 here, which is about 6 Celsius. So it was a little chilly, but needed to get some of the rust off from flying.
Sure.
Been busy kind of building. Had to do a lot of soldering work, so I built a cable for the battery harness for the 600 I've got. It's coming along. Also got some new silicon wire in and stuff, connectors, so working on my 250 quad. So it's about ready to set up. I'm going to use, I've got the Naze 32 Fun and Fly board, and it came with the Clean Flight, so I'm going to give Clean Flight a try. And I guess there's a new segment out on flight tests that went through the Naze 32, so I'm going to kind of use that as a crush to set up my 32 board. So hopefully I can get that going pretty soon. Local year they have a swap meet. It was held last weekend. There was another one about a year ago that I missed. So I decided to go ahead and attend this one. A couple things that struck me was a lot of the attendees going in were pretty senior citizens. So I don't know if that speaks to the type of stuff they had inside, which was mostly gas-powered stuff. Most of the airplanes were gas-powered, and most of the helis were flybarred. I didn't see maybe but 1 or 2 flybarless helicopters. So there was quite a few tables, quite a bit of stuff. I didn't see much in there in the way that of what I wanted. I was principally looking for an ESC that I've now got coming on the way, but I was heading out and I spotted one box for a powered glider. It was a Gropner, older model powered glider. I looked through the box. It had all the foam pieces, but didn't have any of the hardware, the engine, or the electronics. So I took a chance and picked it up for about 25 bucks. So I'm trying to find the parts all back together, maybe have a powered glider, almost a 2-meter bird. So that's the next challenge. So got stuff.
Yeah, if you get it running fairly cheap, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. So I said it's an older model. It's about a 2011, and I figured it was a Gropner, so it should be well engineered. The Germans are pretty good with their gliders, and so it had all the foam pieces. So, and I found a set of instructions online, so I know kind of how it should be built. It's just a matter of finding a good power source for the engine and all this stuff, all the accessory bits to try to get it together. Depends on how much fabrication I want to do versus how much I want to root around and try to find some of the parts. So that's about it.
All right. And let's see, last one that's popped in. We have Sheldon. Is it Isidore?
Yeah, Isidore.
Yeah, joining us. It's been a long time since you popped in. What was back? God, must have been October.
Yeah, I always miss it because of the time difference.
Remind me where you're at again.
St. Lucia.
Yeah, that's right, St. Lucia. And how's the weather down there?
It's pretty good right now. Lots of sun.
All right. I guess one of us is now off the hook, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
we were giving Lee a bunch of crap because his weather's nicer than all of ours, but I think you beat him. So what have you been up to?
Yeah. It's pretty good here. Perfect weather for flying.
We've got some crazy delay, so hopefully it's not too problematic. What have you been up to, Sheldon?
I recently set up a hexcopter. That's what I've been flying like every single day. But sadly, I was trying to set it up with APM board, which flunked out on me. So I decided to go the Mega Pirate way because I had one of the multi-wii pro boards lying around. Yeah, but it's all been good, so I've been enjoying it.
Nice. Well, cool. And you're at work, so is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm still at work.
What time is it there?
It's 10:52 p.m. right now.
Okay. All right, not too bad. It's an hour ahead of me, so that works.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm mostly
Cool.
at work when you have a hangout, so.
Yeah. That's my problem when Aid's having the Rotors show. It's always right in the middle of my workday, and I can't get out and do anything about it.
Yeah, me too. I hate that.
I barely make
Yeah,
it.
that's
You should do it at 2:00 in the morning, Aid, and then we can all join.
Yeah, totally. Because America is the center of the universe.
The other day I just popped in, say hi, and drop out.
If you could do this maybe just 1 hour earlier, it would be nicer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Instead of 5 in the morning.
I tell you what, guys, right? We'll do you a deal, right? We'll do ours an hour later, right? If you pull yours an hour earlier.
Now, see, I could dig that.
Let's see, an hour earlier. I might be able to pull it off. I don't know if I could pull it off every time, but I could definitely pull it off a couple of times.
Well, at least I'm only going to bed at 4 in the morning instead of 5 in the morning.
Yeah, see, and it would be a 1 o'clock start and a 3 o'clock finish rather than a 2 o'clock start and a 4 o'clock finish.
Either way, it's not pretty.
Yeah, it basically kills off my entire Saturday morning. I have to sleep.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so we do have somebody else that popped in. Chris is joining us. Are you there, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is my first time joining in. I don't know if my video's working.
It is.
Working enough.
On this really cheap Windows tablet, and it's got a terrible camera. I'm in my airplane room. Let's see if I can get the camera pointed. I recently moved into an apartment with my fiance, so I have stacks of helis and airplanes, pretty much covering the entire room.
It looks like you have all the necessities.
It's a little packed in here. I recently acquired these huge gasoline, almost industrial grade helicopters. You kind of see them in the back. They're 1200 size machines that use 30cc engines made by Airstar International. So I'm trying to get those things set up and flying. I got them from a UAV company coming out of business. Took advantage of a good deal. But
Nice, 1200 size. I have a hard time even fathoming what a 1200 might be like.
They're absolutely massive. I'm scared to even fly them. But I'm also into multirotors and airplanes. I've been flying since about year 2000. Used to compete in competition aerobatics. Really into RG pilot platforms. I've been flying that since basically version 1, where there was the 2 stacked boards, and ever since then, it's been super reliable for me. I now fly them with Xbox controllers. I have it tuned just right that I don't even have an RC receiver on board at all. The RG pilot is, it can support a joystick through your Windows laptop or PC. It's pretty neat.
Huh. That is crazy.
You gotta teach us how to use APM properly, because I was not able to make it work very, very good on 2 tries.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends have trouble too, and it takes a lot to get used to. There's just so much information about the system, and the online documentation doesn't explain everything that well. But I've had most little problems, and I've been able to figure them out. I've always been able to help other people get in the air. It's really, it's definitely hard when you're first learning, but you spend some time on it, be patient, and read as much as you can online, and it ends up being probably, one of the best flight controllers out there.
I know that for a fact, but getting there, it's way too much work.
It is hard. It's definitely easier, though. Back when I first started, oh my god, it was terrible. The online wiki was horrible. It didn't explain hardly anything, and I was crashing left and right. And nowadays, the online documentation it's definitely better. It still has a ways to go. But,
Have you tried the auto-tune? Works fine.
I actually have not tried that yet.
Okay.
I'm kind of old school with the system. I'm used to tuning it manually. I just spend basically the first 4 or 5 flights getting it dialed in, and then as soon as it's ready to go, I can push into the settings, and it's been rock solid. I typically, if I get a machine going the way I want it to, I usually leave the firmware how it is, and don't really feel the need to upgrade.
I hear you.
But, yeah, that's a little bit about me. I like to anything that flies: helicopters, multirotors, airplanes, 3D.
Now you're doing some interesting stuff at the school, right? Is that right? Anything you can talk about?
I recently graduated from Georgia Tech, and I did some interesting, projects for that. For my senior design, I designed a single-engine, full-start gasoline hexacopter. It was variable pitch. I basically used T-Rex 600 tail mechanics oriented in a hexacopter, basically like an H-style, as it's like an H-style quad, but H-style hexacopter. I wish I could post some pictures. Maybe next week, if we're doing the same hangout, I'll try to get some pictures and video. But I ended up with a limited budget from the senior design. They only allowed us to have like $500 spent on this project, so I could only afford the Hobby King HK 600 DT mechanic, which were absolute garbage. Those things were built dry, but each pulley was so out of spec, and they wobbled every time you spun them. Well, I kept having belts break on me or slip off the pulleys. I never actually got the vehicle off the ground, but I do have a couple of videos of it spooling up, and you could tell that it gets super light on the ground, and it was just about to light. It was this big hexacopter. It was pretty neat.
Nice. Sounds like a fun project.
Yeah, we had gas tanks on there that based on, we did some calculations on fuel consumption and how long it can fly, and it was supposed to get about an hour and a half of flight time from a Multirotor.
That's crazy. Cool. Well, welcome to the Hangout. Glad you made it.
I'll try to get a better webcam next time. This is pretty terrible.
Yeah, I think things are all terrible today. It seems like we have a lot of lag. I think the network is particularly slow. Maybe it's too cold. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to mention. I was curious if you guys have been paying attention to this or not, but I know that there have been a couple of interesting product releases, and we'll kind of talk through those if we get any time. But the one thing I wanted to bring up that I was wanting to get some feedback from, has anybody, I know many of you also hang out or follow the RC Heli Nation crew and listen to their podcast, and I was wondering if you guys have heard about or are familiar with the pilot proficiency program that they have come up with.
Yeah, I've copied it out and going through it on the sim at the moment.
How's that working out? I haven't flown anything yet, but I did take a quick look at it.
Yeah, it's I think the last maneuver, or one of the last maneuvers in the second phase, I wasn't quite understanding exactly what they wanted us to do. So I'm hoping that they're going to go ahead with what they were talking about on the last episode, where they're making videos of each maneuver as well, so you can actually visually see what they're doing.
Yeah, that would help a lot. So for those of you who aren't aware, the pilot proficiency program is essentially, I think it's based off of an original proficiency program from IRCHA, and then tweaked and tuned and modified and updated. And basically what they did is they determined what they believe to be certain levels of pilot proficiency, starting with level 1 as a beginner, level 2 is basic sport, level 3 is intermediate sport, level 4 is advanced sport, level 5 is basic 3D, level 6 is intermediate 3D, and level 7 is advanced 3D. And the concept is that you start at the beginning at level 1 and work your way through the maneuvers and get somebody to sign off for you as a witness that you've completed whatever it is the maneuver is, and when you've finished that block, then you are now at that proficiency level. So, or I guess if you're in that block, you're in that proficiency level. So, getting through level 1, you're a beginner, and once you get through that, and I think there's like 8 maneuvers there, 9 maneuvers it looks like for beginner, and then you move on to basic sport. And so not only does it get you thinking about fundamentals and improve your proficiency, which is what it's designed to do. The other interesting thing, which they had brought up, and I'm not sure that was the original intent to do it this way, but it really works out, is it helps you gauge where you are in the spectrum of things. So, you know, if I say I'm a 3D pilot and I can't do jack for anything on level 5 or level 4 or level 3, I'm probably not going to be a 3D pilot. I'm probably a basic sport pilot who can do some flips and rolls. So it was kind of an interesting concept to figure out where you really shake out. So I haven't done it yet. I was thinking about doing, Lee, what you're doing, which is start out on the sim with that, just to kind of play around with it some. But I've been listening to them, their last few shows, talking about it. It's kind of got me actually a little bit excited about getting the helis back out. So That's always a good thing. I've done a similar program. We've had Archmage AU on here several times, Craig, who did a sort of a proficiency program for simulator on, what was his called, from figure eights to funnels or something like that. So I'm a fan of the regimented programs and methodologies for improvement. So I'm kind of interested to give this one a try.
Did you make a point of where you think you want to get to by the end of the year?
I have not yet. Actually, I'm scared to death that I'm going to be much less proficient than I think I am once I start this. So, yeah, I haven't yet. Have you? Where do you think you're going to be?
I don't know if I'm being ambitious or not, but I've put 5 plus 12.
Wow. Let me look at 5 and
Level 5 plus 12 maneuvers from level 6. That's the goal.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to be like level 2 plus some. Maybe, let's see, level 2 I think I feel pretty good about. Level 3 is intermediate sport.
The main thing I think is that lots of the maneuvers you can say, I can do those, but then you've got to do them in all orientations as well. And that's what's going to take the time.
You know, I'd be happy if I can get through level 3 intermediate sport and then partially into advanced sport, to be honest with you, just to guess at where I think I'm at right now. The funny thing is, I mean, most of these, like I can do a couple of maneuvers. Like advanced sport is where the flips and the rolls and some of that stuff is, but there's also things like inverted pirouettes, which I know I can't do yet. Yeah, I could probably be advanced sport for sure by the end of the year. Anyway,
I need to get some helicopters flying first before you get any further.
I think that's a prerequisite.
Yeah, the simulator doesn't count.
Yeah.
Quadcopters don't count either. I can't use those.
How does that tail? How did that?
Has anybody else taken a look at that?
Sorry, Clint.
Everybody going one time. Sorry. I said, how did that tail turn out on that Goblin? Did you get a chance to go get it?
Yeah. I haven't quite finished it yet.
Okay.
It's just got to be painted now. But I've been doing another project. We've been building a hydrofoil for kite surfing. So been using up all the carbon for that.
Well, that's cool. I was really curious as to how that was going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming along pretty well. It's all straight. It looks like it did before, apart from the paint. So just got to we put one last layer of wrapped carbon all the way around, and just got to sand that back and then spray it. And I mean, I don't think it's going to break in the same place we've repaired it. If we crash it, it's going to break somewhere else because it is super strong where we repaired it. It's probably a bit too heavy now. But anyway, I'm gonna order a new one, and I'll keep that as a spare, and just in case.
Cool.
Nice. Let's see here. CPO Heli Tools. If you've been waiting for the iOS version of their app, that is now finally out, which is exciting because that's what I have is iOS. So wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I know a few of us have CPO Heli kits in our toolkit.
It's a new icon firmware as well.
Yeah, so I was going to ask about that. Because I have the icon, and I haven't really felt like I needed to update it. So what does the new firmware give me that I don't have now? Any ideas, a quick Reader's Digest on what I can expect with an update?
Can't remember. It's a while since I looked at it. I think there's
Because I know they
governor improvements.
Yeah, I looked at the list and I don't know myself. I've got the old version on the 550 DFC. I haven't updated it yet, and then the N5C I've got the new version on, but it's nitro. It's not electric, so I'm like, and I haven't got to where I've been fine tuning the icon yet, just because I got to get it broke in. So I don't know either.
I haven't updated anyway because they haven't updated the Android software yet to be able to work with it, I don't think. So I'm just going to leave mine as they are.
Interesting. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for some more advanced or some new features, but it sounds like some enhancements. I know particularly, I think I saw something about the governor maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe some bug fixes, but it didn't sound like there was anything feature-wise that was really remarkable, unless I'm missing it.
I'm just trying to find it now, but I think there was some tail stuff.
I guess I just expected something more notable, given the way they were hyping the new release that was going to happen at IRCHA. Like I was expecting maybe a entirely different type of firmware or some new capability that we didn't have before in it.
It's got cyclic rotational speeds are now separated from aileron and elevator. Overspeed after spool up with some ESCs fixed. So that, I need that. A lot of overspeed stuff has been put into the software apparently. Yeah, governor.
That's because 2014 was the year of the overspeed.
Yeah. Tail stuff, cyclic pitch pump added. Yeah, nothing that stands out as being major.
All right, good, because that means I didn't miss anything. I'll probably still update. I just I don't feel like I'm in a hurry to do it. Of course, I'm flying so much right now anyway. Not. I did decide, though, by the way, that I'm going to put my Spirit flybarless onto my 550. I was debating on where I was going to put that. Originally, I was going to put it on the 500, which actually has the icon on it. And I decided I'm going to pull off the GT 5.2 and try the Spirit on it, on the 550. So I think that'll be a good test of that unit, because I really like flying that 550. So I'll be able to tell if I like it or not pretty easily.
Has there been any news on the sort of the Thunder Tiger situation over there?
Well, the news basically is that HRP is the new U.S. distributor, and they have a lot of the same dealer networks that Hobbyco has. I mean, a lot of, like Hobby Town and Hobby USA and things like that. So they are back to distributing in U.S. shops, and then you can buy directly from the HRP warehouses. But I was kind of saddened by the fact that they're still showing out of stock on almost everything. Like, I looked at E700 parts, and they're pretty much out of everything. If I wanted to buy main gear right now, I'm not sure exactly where I'd get one. So that's a little bit scary still. I'm guessing it'll be a few months before everything gets caught up. But the assumption is that it's a distributorship transfer, from Hobbyco to now HRP, and that once that happens, everything will be back to normal and parts will be available, and it won't feel much different. But I'm still skeptical. And I'm a huge Tower Hobbies fan, Hobbyco. I mean, I've always got great support out of them. When I bought my 550 and had problems, they took great care of me. I had a servo that went bad. The thing arrived with a broken frame, and they took 100% care of me as a customer. And so I don't really want to change. I didn't want to change vendors, but we'll see what HRP does.
It's definitely a bit scary. If I owned a GT model at the moment, I mean, over here it's just hitting double anyway. They're all funny, and they were never particularly good in the first place. So amazing the Raptor did as well as it did, really. But yeah, it's still, am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Oh no! Aha!
You're really quiet.
Might help if I actually have my microphone kind of somewhere near my mouth.
Near your face.
Rather than it being sat on the table down to like 3 feet away. There you go. You might be able to hear me now. It's not good. Not good. But going back to the whole flybarless updates, I've just remembered I've been playing with the Spartan one. He's finally added in the electric governor, and it's pretty impressive, I must say. You can really hear the model. The model sounds very different now as you come on and off the load. It's quite strange compared to the built-in governor on the speed controllers. It's very. You can hear it's much more constant.
I see they're working on self-level for the Spartan as well.
I haven't seen that, but it doesn't surprise me because I know the VX1, the new one, the cheap one, the VX1E, that uses a sensor that has that stuff. I think it's the inertial sensors, isn't it, that you need for that?
I saw a quick video yesterday. It looked pretty good, pretty stable.
Yeah. Well, I think he's trying to get. I think he's hoping to get somewhere towards quadcopter stuff as well soon. It'll be an expensive board, so compared to a lot. I mean, like the KK2 and stuff, they're all like 30, 40 quid, aren't they? Whereas the VX1E is like 100. But I have every confidence that it will fly really nicely. But, we'll see.
Nice. So, does that mean, I'm trying to gather this from your statement, the existing hardware will have the ability to have self-level? Is that what you're saying?
The older one, the VX1N and the original VX, the original Vortex, they both use ring sensors, but they literally just have gyros in them. They don't have any inertial stuff in them. In those sensors, they're a better quality sensor in that they're more resilient to vibration and temperature stability and all that sort of stuff. But they don't have the inertial stuff in them required for self-level. Whereas the VX1E uses the same sensor as the Beast and the V-bar, I think, V-bar and Itron and all that sort of stuff. The cheaper sensor, but which is more susceptible to vibration, but it does have the inertial stuff in it to be used for self-level. Apparently, I might be wrong. But that's why I understand how it will work.
Nice. Well, that's cool. That would be a welcome feature. So, I would imagine here pretty soon we're not going to see very many flybarless controllers without them. That's going to become a standard part of the flybarless controller is the self-level capability.
I'm not a big fan of the idea myself. I don't know.
Say that again?
I'm not a big fan of the whole self-level thing. We talked a little. Yeah, we didn't. We talked about it a little bit on the show the other day, and it just sort of, I don't know, it can be a bit of a crutch. I think this whole bailout thing can be a bit if you when I was training people on the body box, you could sit there and stand next to them, and they'd be flying around and they'd be fine, and then they go, I don't have it, I don't know what to do. And the model would be flying across the sky. It wouldn't be doing anything nasty. It wouldn't be losing a lot of height very quickly or anything, anything like that. It's just like, it's fine. Just work it out yourself. You'll be fine. I'm here if it's going to crash. That's what I'm here to do, to stop it from crashing. But you need to learn how to. And we almost had this conversation in real time as well. Like, look, we're having now. Like, come on, look, it's not crashing. Work it out. Get it back tail in, push the tail. I give them a clue, push the tail to the right, and oh look, now the tail's pointing at you, and look, you have orientation back on it again. But as an instructor, you had the power to be able to say, no, sod off, sort it out. Don't be such a girl. Yeah? Whereas with the bailout switch, you're the trainee is also the instructor, if you see what I mean. So instead of being out, you're sort of reliant on yourself then to have the self-control to go, no, it's not going to crash. It's not crashing. I'm going to regain control myself. Whereas it would be all too easy just to pull the switch in and go, oh, that's fine. But if the system, if that backup problem, if that thing ever doesn't work, then you're screwed because you'll never be able to catch it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a very long-winded way of saying
I
it.
get
But
your
I was
point.
just.
I agree with you. You should try to work it out. But when it gets to that point, it's coming down. It gets to that point.
Yeah.
I'm throwing the switch.
No. I agree. It's a good feature if it's used properly, but I just have this terrible feeling that sort of 70% of people that would use it too early.
Well, and I think you got the Bavarian Demon. That's a full-fledged bailout. Yeah. It'll level orientate and skyrocket.
Yeah.
You're out of there. Good. Whereas Icon's different. All it's going to do is get right side up. That's it. If you're on the negative, you're still going to drive it into the ground. So you still have to have a little bit of control. You still have to input on that. You can't just throw the switch and say, well, it's good now. So I think each one's different.
Yeah. And you can set the amount of self-level as well. So what you can have the helicopter in self-level and fly it around as a normal helicopter, but but when you know you return the stick to center, it will level itself out. So you can set it so that just beyond center stick is just like flying as normal. And so then they can fly around, but if they do get into trouble or lose orientation, they always know that when they return the stick to center, it will level out, and then they can give them a few seconds to then check the model and see, okay, it is facing this way, I can turn it that way, and regain their orientation without panicking and throwing the sticks all over the place.
Yeah, it is a good thing. If it's used properly, that's the proviso. It's got to be used, in a sensible way, so that you learn to catch it yourself, and then only use it as a kind of a last resort kind of thing. And
that's kind of how I do it, and I don't like. Yeah. I don't like, at least saying you can fly around with it and you can set it up to give you mobility while staying in that self-level mode. I feel like I'm fighting it when I got it in that mode. I've only used it. I've only had to use it, I think, 3 or 4 times, and as soon as I get right, I'm back in the normal mode. I don't want to stay in that mode.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it feels like you're fighting it.
If the self-level gain is high, then it's going to return itself to center really abruptly, and that's why you're having to fight it all the time. If you set the self-level gain lower, then it's not so aggressive. It's not trying to flatten itself out all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't use it. It doesn't really work for TikToks an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
As my goblin will tell you.
The other thing actually is you're saying about the self-level kind of game stuff. It would be what a lot of people struggle with when they first start to fly helicopters is the fact that it is neutrally stable, so it stays in the attitude you leave it in, and you get this. You see this standard sort of like swinging backwards and forwards like a pendulum because they're over controlling it. Now, with a little bit of positive kind of stability going on there, so a little bit of self-level in that would certainly help to kind of stop it getting too wild. And that's the sort of the training mode that accuracy gives you as well for learning to hover. So I mean, I'm just needs to be used sensibly. That's all. I know I've said that about 8 times now. Yeah.
Valid point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely I could see that. So at least they don't have loiter mode where you can just flip a switch and it will just stay in the air and loiter.
So they have White House mode.
Well, I was about to say that's another one.
You have to be a drunk federal agent for that mode to work, though.
Oh man, that's so ridiculous. And then the other guy, what was it? Like 3 days later, the other one, plane flying into LAX at 4,000 feet, flew right up underneath one. It's insane, man. They're gonna ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's the idiots that are causing all the attention, but they're going to get legislation for the rest of us.
There was another video, not sure if anybody saw it, about a guy that was flying his Hexa, lose control, and the thing just dropped down from the sky. There were a couple kids around them. Yeah, it was awful because then it picked up itself back into the air about 8 feet, hit a house. The owner of the house picked it up full throttle and have some cuts on her arm. It was awful, and the guy is not even like it doesn't seem to be like an RC fanatic as any of us. He just probably bought it and figured out, hey, let's try it out in the back of my house, and flew away. One of those things, and he was just like, oh, good thing that this lady did not sue me, because otherwise I was gonna get in trouble.
Well, I don't think you got to be a fanatic. I mean, I always say the joke, we're crackheads because we're addicted to this stuff, whatever. But I don't think you have to be fanatical. I just think you got to have some common sense. I mean, you don't go flying anything into the vicinity of an airport. You don't go flying into a crowd of people. You just, I mean, you don't. It's just common sense. I don't even think.
But that's the trouble, is that a lot of these people that are buying these things, and a lot of the general, the little local parks that I fly in, I've been doing a backwards inverted hurricane at 4 feet off the ground, flat out, right? And then this person with a dog just walks straight across in front of me, with this model just over their heads, and there's just no concept of danger to them. They just think it's a toy, and and get on with it. So if you imagine that kind of mentality of respect for the equipment, and then hand that to somebody to go in in a shop and they go and spend $500 on it, and then they take it out and go and fly it. That's with that kind of mentality of, oh, just see what happens. Then that sort of thing is going to happen. And, oh, look, let's go and have a look at this airport. That looks really cool. No,
Yeah, exactly.
And the problem is, it doesn't matter how much you legislate it. The idiots are going to be idiots no matter how much you legislate.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's
look at the roads.
true.
Look at driving a car, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Fellas, I'm gonna call it a night, man. I'm getting a little tired here. It was
All
good
right,
to see you
great.
guys. Sorry I haven't been around in a while, but I'll try to make.
Take care. Enjoy that Nitro.
I will, man. Thanks. Night.
See you on the forum, Clay.
If you got any questions, give us a shout on the tuning.
Will do, man. Thank you.
Don't want to clarify anything.
All right.
Cool.
Night.
Cheers. Bye. Yeah, it's the whole problem at the moment is a bit scary. This whole being able to just go into a shop. I mean, aren't they selling DJIs in Best Buy or something now? Aren't they?
Oh, they're selling them everywhere. You can buy them all over the place. Toy shops everywhere.
The thing that troubles me the most is that, yeah, DJI was responsible enough to put in a couple flyers inside a box and telling people you have to follow certain guidelines and all that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, how many people read that?
Yeah. Not many. At
Exactly.
least they are starting to pull that into the firmware now, aren't they? That they're putting airports and things into the firmware, so it won't even take off if you're within a certain distance of an airport.
Yeah, and hopefully there's not a sucker out there that knows how to program or fiddle around and disable that things, because I wouldn't mind updating my firmware and be safe that I'm not going to cause any trouble to any. Well, plus I wouldn't fly near any airport or any kind of putting risk more people, right?
I think the majority of these people, they just don't know any better. I think it's just a lack of education, rather than actually any sort of malicious intent. So that in that case, the DJI stuff, the built-in kind of you can't fly here stuff, will stop them from flying because it just won't take off, and they'll go, why isn't this working? And then they'll go and read the manual and go, oh yeah, that's because I was flying there, wasn't I? What am an idiot? So hopefully.
I think it should be compulsory that anyone who wants to buy anything of sort of 350 upwards, like DJI Phantom or something, has to have a basics course thrown in with the cost of buying it. At least to know some of the rules and before they can actually take it away from the shop.
It's kind of like they do with hunter safety courses, right? Where you if you want to hunt, you've got to take a course.
Yeah,
exactly.
Do those actually work? Do those courses actually work? You sort of, cause I do a bit of cycling, I haven't done so much recently, but there's always the thing in the UK is like, oh, they should license and insure bicycles, and they should have to do a test and all this sort of stuff because I have to in my car. But the sort of the cost of implementing and enforcing that sort of stuff would just be astronomical. And it's not going to stop the malicious idiots still from doing stupid stuff. So yes, it might help some of the people that don't know what they're doing, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's kind of almost.
It only helps to educate people that. It only helps to educate people that actually are willing to be educated.
Yeah.
If they don't care about the rules, then it won't help. And if they want to be intentionally, negligent, then it won't help them either. But I think there's a lot of people who would like to know the right way to do things. They just don't know that they don't know. They're in the most dangerous position because they think that they know what they're doing when they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was thinking about it. It's like, technology has come to the point where it would be really easy to, somebody could produce a safety video, let's say. I don't know, if AMA wants to do it here in the States and say, we're going to produce this video on, RC modeling safety, and we're going to hit all of the key elements, all the rules that are going to keep the FAA off of our backs, and make them safe operators should they choose to actually follow the guidelines. And then every model you buy, in order to unlock the firmware to actually use it, you watch this video, acknowledge that you watched it, and then it unlocks the ability to use the model. Of course, these are bigger models, right? So your 450s, your 500s, 550s. Maybe it's the flybarless controller firmware is locked out until you acknowledge that you watched the safety video. I don't know, but there's got to be some easy technology solution that makes it simple to get information to people. It could be as simple as a written booklet on safety that they don't even really provide today. They tell you a little bit, but they mostly tell you to go somewhere else to get safety information, right? They tell you to contact the AMA or something, but I don't know. Nice little picture booklet, some rules. I don't know.
Is that how they do it over there? Is they just say, go and talk to the AMA and they'll tell you everything if you give them $100?
No, I think that in the manuals, I haven't looked at, I'll have to go pull out an old manual sometime, but I think in the manual it just says something about, that you should, they encourage you to join the AMA. Oh wait, let's see what Rifted's got up. Oh, that's not it. That's not what we're talking about, Rifted.
No, of course not. But I'm not even in the U.S. and I'm subscribed to them because if I fly there, I'm going to be responsible because I know the rules, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But I think the user manuals, they usually have something that says, RC's modeling is dangerous. You should join the AMA or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but they don't spend a lot of time telling you about the safety rules.
It's kind of a driving everyday car. You got to have a license, right? Otherwise, if you get pulled over, you're gonna spend some time in jail, or gonna have a big I don't know. The police is gonna take you out in the car as well. You're gonna get in trouble, right? If there's certain way or certain area that it also can be applied, I would totally or definitely do it, because, well, I cannot compare it down here because you buy your license, you don't make a test and get your license, and that's you see every animal at the wheel every time you drive here. And it's really awful that nobody even respects everybody. So imagine that also apply to people that don't even know what they're already purchasing because they have the money and they fly properly and they cause a big accident. Nobody wants it, but they cause it, and who's gonna? Because, yeah, that's ignorance, right?
Yeah. There isn't a lot you can do about it, really. Just
hey, Chris, aside
whatever
from
the
those
answer is.
Aside from
Go
those
ahead,
that
Kevin.
just go in a shop and plunk down the money and they purchase what they consider a toy, how many of us go on the forums and see where somebody's puts an annotation where they've FPV'd well above 400 feet, well into the clouds, or a mile or two well beyond visual range, and somebody will call them on that and try to bring them into light of what the rules are, and for the most part they really don't care. They're trying to extend it, and they figure it's their right to fly in the clouds and push the FPV envelope and hope that the electronics work. So that's the one I'm concerned about, especially as a pilot. If I'm in an airplane flying and I'm in the clouds IFR, I'm not expecting a rotary wing to come up through my airspace.
I think isn't there's something in the Constitution about that? Isn't it the right to fly quads at ridiculous ranges or something? No, the right.
It's somewhere between the Second and Third Amendment.
Yeah, the right to bear quads.
Yeah, it's called the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. When you start getting into to airspace that is used for manned aviation, I think there should be a different set of rules. I just don't know how you'd enforce it, but I agree. That there's a difference between flying any aircraft at below 400 feet and taking one on a cross country at elevations that most manned aviation, light aircraft, right, general aviation are somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 feet most of the time. So that's not really that high to have a full-scale airplane.
Yeah, but the FAA ruling is if you're in a private plane, you have to maintain 500 feet above any populated area. So that's why they have the 400 limit for the RC aircraft to give a 100-foot buffer between civil aircraft and RC models. So
yeah, no, I'm in total agreement with you.
Yeah. So when I look on these OSDs and I see people flying at 1,000, 2,000 feet, or they're out, 2 miles from their location, what happens if the electronics quit, or they don't have good visibility 360-wise to clear airspace around them to know that they aren't going to be a factor.
Yeah, I was going to say even if the electronics are working fine, there's still a danger to the other pilots, the manned pilots.
Yeah.
I know a local guy here. He has the world record, I think, for open distance FPVs. He flew out and returned 200 kilometers. But I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know what the legal side of that was.
Yeah. Now, see, I think the stuff is cool. Like the technology and the ability to do that is fascinating to me, and I would love to be able to do long-range FPV. But I don't know. Maybe it's just is a matter of requiring them to file a flight plan if they're gonna fly in airspace that's shared with other aircraft, or require them to have a transponder that squawks their location or something. I don't know.
Well, we have to do that in paragliding. If we're going cross country, we have to put in a NOTAM to let all aircraft know of the general direction that we're trying to fly across country, so they can basically keep their eyes a bit wider when they're going through that area. But yeah, model aircraft a bit too small for that.
Yeah, smart though.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work though. I've put NOTAMs in, just flying on our local hill, and had 2 Sea King helicopters come over the ridge about 50 feet, right in between a bunch of paragliders, and they should have known that there was paragliders there. I've had Hercules fly underneath us. That was pretty scary as well.
They're just showing off.
Yeah, I've had a Sea King come up the valley in a like 1,000-foot deep valley in South Wales. Come up the valley and up over the head of the valley whilst we're flying gliders at the head of the valley on the slopes. That was quite entertaining. He came in underneath us and then popped up over the top. Like, oh yeah, didn't see him coming, because it was just you could hear something but you couldn't really see it. Yeah, because he was down in the valley against the trees and stuff. It wasn't really until he was pretty close that we kind of realised where he was. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Nope.
I had a friend flying in Wales with paragliding, and he was in full VFR, about halfway to cloud base, and he was coming out of a turn in a thermal, and a private jet was coming straight at him, and the only thing he had time to think of was lift his legs up, and the tail fin went straight underneath him.
It's too close for comfort.
The plane just carried on, same altitude, same speed, same direction, so he reckons that the guy wasn't even looking out the window at the time.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Bloody hell.
Yeah, he was very lucky.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Hey, did you guys see the new Raptor E700 V3?
Yeah, with the shark fin on it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to finish this, Aid, when you asked about Thunder Tiger, but at the what's the show over there in Europe that they just had recently?
Nuremberg.
Yeah, Nuremberg.
Nuremberg.
They announced the E700 V3, and it's a fuselage, much like like everything else these days, with the boom cover, and it's got this weird shark fin looking thing. Actually, I really like the fuselage, so I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, but I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I thought the 700 one looked alright, but did you see the 550 one? That was ugly.
Yeah, the 550, I can't even figure out.
There was a big gap at the back.
Yeah. And does the 550 still have the big port in the front?
I can't remember.
Because that's what everybody hates about the 550 is that big open port in the front. Yeah. It doesn't bother me at all, but I can't tell in the pictures if that's still there or not.
Screen share coming.
But yeah, so that's a good sign, Aid, that their Thunder Tiger's not dead. They're actually updating their models in the middle of all this. So, but yeah, the 700 V3 looks really nice. I wouldn't be opposed to getting a fuselage kit, assuming that it fits the V2 just fine. I don't see a whole lot of differences between the V2 and the V3 as far as the actual mechanics.
Certainly looks a lot meaner.
Yeah, it's got a nice look to it.
It's a long old main shaft, though, isn't it? Yeah, you compare it to the Goblins and T-Rex 700s and stuff. The main shaft's a long way above the boom.
Yeah.
And it's still just a standard alley boom inside a sheath. It's still just another crash expense, just like the Align stuff.
Yeah, it just costs you twice as much now to crash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Align did the same thing. They just released a speed. They call it a speed fuselage for the 550. I don't know if they've had it for the other models, but same thing. It's just although the Align version is more Goblin-ish, it's got a much fatter boom cover that is reminiscent of the Goblin design.
Yeah, the 700 version's been around for quite a while now.
Oh, so they're just moving it down to the 550 then?
Yeah, and I think they've got it on a 500 as well.
500 as well, yeah. It's on the 500 as well.
And then I also noticed that Blade has released the 360 because everybody needs to have a 360, which is actually looks nice. It's a little bit bigger, a smidge bigger than their 450, but the 450's got what 325 millimeter blades, and the 360 has true 360 millimeter blades. So, and it's designed to run on a 6S.
It's amazing actually just how big the Goblin 380 and that sort of size of model is really. It's a long way towards the 500. It's not that much smaller than the 500, from what I've seen. Kev put some pictures up recently with comparing it to a 450, comparing the Goblin 380 to a 450 and a 500, and and a T-Rex 500 as well, and it's just like, yeah, just leave that's a big model. It's quite a big model.
Yeah, interesting. I haven't looked at the comparisons, but I've been curious how big it is in comparison. Because my 450 Align and even my 500 feel really tiny right now compared to the 550 and the 700. Oh yeah, that 380 looks huge.
Yeah. Are you looking at the pictures from Rotors?
No, actually, I just pulled up a YouTube video.
Okay. They've put some up recently.
Did you have some?
Yeah, hang on. I'm not sure if he posted them actually. He did just put them in the Hangout. Let me look. I think he put them up. Maybe he's saving them. Hang on, let me find them. Talk among yourself. I'll find them.
Yeah, the Blade 500 is only swinging 430 millimeter blades, so the 380 blade isn't that far off.
What was that last part, Casper?
Blade 500 throws a 430 millimeter blade, so a 380 millimeter blade wouldn't be that far off.
Yeah. I'm glad they've gone back to actually calling the helicopters by the size of the true blade size.
Right.
A friend on our forum
that...
got the 380 and he crashed it a couple of days later.
Oh, really?
Ouch.
Yeah, I would like to get another. I was looking at that or the X3 for my son, but my son has lost interest again. So it's like riding a roller coaster with him. He's either up or he's down. But I'm not spending money while he doesn't care. I'll wait till he cares again.
Right, here you go. There's a 450 next to the 380 next to a Goblin 500.
Wow. Hold on. Put that back up there.
Same again. 500. Another one here somewhere. I think it's gone.
Yeah, that is crazy how much bigger the 380 looks than the 450.
Yeah, it is. It's a big model.
It's got a very prominent body design, fuselage.
But, I mean, you stick that next to the Goblin 500. You know, and the Goblin 500 isn't a big model. It's sort of smaller than my X5, but bigger than the T-Rex 500. It's 500 mil blades. But you know, it's not that much smaller. You know, if you put a T-Rex 500 in there in the mix as well, it would probably fit. You know, it would be closer to the 380 than it is the 500. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
I don't know. That's one of those that I have a feeling one of these days I'm going to own one just to do it. So, let's see what else. Do you see the MSH microbrain?
Microbrain.
Yeah, they released a brain for the Blade 180. Which is kind of interesting.
Hey, I thought Blade uses to be. Oh, I see. So yeah, so it's a microbrain for small models. Rather, it's not coming on the 180 like the Beast X.
Yeah, it doesn't come on it. It's a drop-in replacement. They're advertising it as a drop-in replacement for the 180 FBL system, whatever that is.
What was the Beast X in the 180?
I saw they're doing an aluminium case now for the brain and the icon.
Oh yeah, is that a special edition thing, or is that from now on they're going to have an aluminum case? And are they going to have an aluminum case version and a plastic case version?
I think it's just well, I don't know. I think it's just a case that you can
Okay.
put on your original one.
So you can bling up your brain.
I just sold a brain a couple of days ago. Not my own brain, an MSH brain.
Are you sure?
I think so.
It's not worth enough to sell, is it?
No, that wouldn't have got me 3 servos.
I don't know, three Turnigy servos maybe I'd give you for your brain.
I sold the brain so I could get these servos for the warp, and I think I'm going to get the Hobby Wing 50 amp ESC, the V3.
Oh yeah, I like that. I have that.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on the warp hopefully soon.
I've just remembered as well, something I'm really, really, really chuffed with, and thanks for all the views, everybody, is the T-Rex 500 Dominator review the little build video that I did towards the end of last year has just topped 6,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you type in T-Rex 500L Dominator into Google, we're like the top search result. It's coming up above the Alan Zarbo flight video. I'm like, what?
You gotta love that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Come on. I couldn't believe it. How are we doing so well on that? But it's quite funny because like the T-Rex 500 video's got 6,000 views, and then the next one down from that overall is the show 3, which is the accuracy one, which has got 4,000 views, and it drops down to like 2,500. So it's like we've got loads and loads and loads of views on a couple of videos, and the rest of them are kind of down around like 1,200, 1,800ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
quite
it's crazy how that works.
I just couldn't believe how high up the search results it's coming. It's quite impressed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool when it comes above Alan Zabo's video.
I'm like, yeah, I can live for that.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, I am about out of steam tonight, and some of you, it's time to wake up for the morning. So, any last minute, last chance to get something else out before I shut her down?
No, I think we're all going to be posting whatever we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for all the new people that joined. Actually, Chris was the only new person that joined, and Sheldon was a rejoin. So I guess either way, thanks, guys, for popping in.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And hope to see you again. And I guess that's it. I will have this out on an audio podcast in probably next week. Normally I try and do it over the weekend, but I have a really busy weekend scheduled, so I'll probably do it early next week. So you won't hear this because you won't get the podcast until then. So anyway, thanks, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.
All right, take care.